Hi Joy Journeyer, this is Jen Balco from Always On My Way. Today we're going to talk about pilgrimages. It's probably not a topic that you would think that we would talk about in 2020 when we can't travel. But guess what? We can talk about pilgrimages. Because what a pilgrimage is creating a sacred space for you to go to or to wander around in, or to discover something soulful and spiritful and wonderful in your own life. Pilgrimages do have a context of being a religious destination. People go off to faraway places, holy places, to absorb the energy of that place, of those usually historical places where people have traveled to for centuries. But if we look at it in a different way, especially in a year when we cannot travel, it's up to us to really take this concept to heart and to create a different kind of pilgrimage so that we can have the same effect in our life, where our energy gets uplifted, where that walk through some place nearby or just around the block becomes a bit of a sacred path. And I'm not talking about sacred in the terms of religious. I'm talking about sacred in what is special to you, in what makes your heart flutter a little bit faster when you arrive at this destination, however far or near away it is. The way that I think about pilgrimage, and this is one of the things that I really like in this book, The Art of Pilgrimage by Phil Cosineau. He talks about pilgrimage as not just being about running off faraway places. He talks about how it touches us in the spirit of things. So he talks about it in this way. As the Sufi mystic Mevlana Rumi wrote 7 centuries ago, "Don't be satisfied with the stories that come before you. Unfold your own myth." His poetic brother here in the West, Walt Whitman, put it this way: "Not I, not anyone else, can travel that road for you. You must travel it yourself." Together, these musings aspire to the idea echoed in the work of seekers everywhere, that travelers cannot find deep meaning in their journey until they encounter what is truly sacred. What is sacred is what is worthy of our reverence, what evokes awe and wonder in the human heart, and what, when contemplated, transforms us utterly. So in this time when we really cannot travel, it's up to us to figure out how to make that human heart connection to the sacredness of all the things around us. And for me, I always find a little bit of this specialness when I visit certain parts of Barcelona. I lived in Barcelona for about 15 years, on and off. 3 years that I was walking, I still count because that's where my stuff was. But Barcelona's been home for about 15 years. And there are special places that I really love to go to, including walking near the beach, near the Mediterranean Sea, and especially in Montjuïc Park. My favorite trees, my favorite city trees are in Montjuïc Park. And there are all these little corners and these little gardens that people don't visit very often. And anytime I get a chance to go to Barcelona, I always walk there. I live outside of Barcelona now, so when I take the train up, it feels a little bit like a pilgrimage to me. And I make it feel that way. I make it feel special. So when I'm walking through the park, I notice the birds, I notice the trees, I notice the flowers growing. I have one part of Montjuïc Park that's on the edge of the city, that I consider my own garden. It's not, it's a public park, of course, but every time I go there, I feel uplifted. I give a little bit of energy, I take a little bit of energy from there, and I feel like that whole place then brightens a little bit. Brighter. And these are corners that I found while I lived there. When I lived in Barcelona, I lived about 3 blocks away from one edge of Montjuïc Park. And I would spend about 5 days a week there, running, walking, just taking a mental break. It was my little refuge in this big urban center called Barcelona. And now that I live outside the city, and I'm closer to nature, I live in a place where there are a lot of vineyards and there's some forest not too far away, and that's very special too. But going up to Barcelona for this couple days, or for a weekend when I go up, anytime I go up, I feel like I have to go to Montjuïc. And this is what is a pilgrimage to me, that when you can find these little corners in your own life that don't require so much effort. It doesn't require too much effort to go visit your park and to notice what is around you. So that's my invitation to you this week. Go ahead and find a pilgrimage spot in your own neighborhood. Find something, a garden, a park, a tree that you may not have seen before, who knows what, or stand in your own yard and just stare at the sky for a few minutes and make that the destination. Do some sky gazing and stargazing. Make it a pilgrimage. Make it something sacred. Make it something special. In a year when we can't travel, we have to invent ways to discover the things that our spirit wants to say to us. And when we give ourselves some of that silent spaciousness, we can come into a more mindful present of what it means to be human. And as the fall is heating up in so many ways, there are so many things going on right now. We need to create this sacred, special place that will fill our hearts, make our spirits soar, and give us a little bit of the freedom that we need to keep going. When you find your special place in your neighborhood, tell me how it felt. What did it feel like to find this pilgrimage in your own backyard or in your own neighborhood? Put it in the comments below, and we'll talk again soon. Take care, Joy Journeyer. See you soon.